Okay, this is the critical lap. This is the critical lap. Confirm.
Leave me alone. I know what to do.
Welcome back to the critical lap, everyone. Daniel, welcome back to you.
Howdy.
How are
How you doing?
You got some fancy hats there, feller.
Yeah, these colors don't run.
These colors don't. What is going on with your head?
God bless Texas. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, if you're not watching the video feed of this podcast, you are missing out. That's all I've got to say. Welcome back to an incredible U.S. Grand Prix. And now that we have three, Daniel, can we still call it the U.S. Grand Prix, or is it? Do we have to switch to like the Austin Grand Prix or the?
Yeah, I think there's no take backsies here. I think first come first serve, or maybe that's like a dibs system. I'm not sure, but Austin definitely got it first.
Austin got it
first, since there's been a dry spell of Grand Prix in the United States.
Let's be clear too. Like, if you want to fight Texas for it, you go right ahead. But I'm out.
Like I said, man, these colors don't run.
Once they've claimed it, that's it. I think we should actually change up the name of this to be more in line with some of the more like college football trends, where you have like the Red River Shootout. I don't think it's called that anymore. I think it's like the Red River something less violent sounding. All these big rivalries, Red River rivalry, something like that. They need.
now that it's an SEC game, I don't know. It sounds weird to say that the Red River Shootout is part of the SEC.
That doesn't sit right, does it?
Whoa.
Well,
anyway.
I think we'll stick with the U.S. Grand Prix, but I'm probably going to start leaning into Austin Grand Prix or just COTA, because COTA is a fun name. We are covering.
I don't know if you
Austin
heard the commentary box, but like the warm up part of the show, where like you're tuned in and you're waiting for the Grand Prix to start, where you're waiting for the formation lap to begin,
where they're saying all the important things.
Yeah, the little graphic where they're giving you like the field elevation and where the DRS zones are and things like that. The first thing the commentator says, I forget if it was Julian Palmer or
the other guy.
The other guy. It wasn't DC, and it wasn't the American. Anyway, the first thing he said was, "We're in America." And it's a Grand Prix weekend or something like that. And I just got a kick out of that because it was like, we're in America.
Yeah. I saw some great like interviews with the drivers where they asked them to like name the top 4 American cities or something, and they didn't realize it wasn't a test. They were just supposed to like name the ones they thought were the top 4. It was fantastic. I think DC got looped in there, and I was like, man, I don't think in any shape, form, or fashion DC ever makes a top 4 of American cities. But that's okay. You don't have to know anything about America. We don't know everything about America. But we are covering the Austin Grand Prix today. Welcome back to the Critical Lap. If you're a new listener, thank you for joining us today. And if you're a regular listener, welcome back.
And if you're a new watcher, this is not the normal type of hat that we wear on the show.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
and there's definitely some technical complications going on with my headphones. So apologies for the strangeness. This is just the most comfortable combination.
How long are you going to wear the hat that way?
Honestly, it's comfortable. The headphones are not falling off like they were when I had them in other configurations.
And you look great.
The hat's still adding a lot of value, I think. I think the hat's not going anywhere.
For sure. Daniel rocking that.
As long as you can handle it, Ruben, I'm not that worried about it.
Is that a Stetson? Is that the right phrase? The right name for that? A Stetson?
Yes, it is a Stetson. It's in fact, it is a authentic X's Stetson. I think it's not quite a 20X. 1, 2, 3,
so you got 4, 5, shown 6, 7,
8, 9. It's a 10X. See, the quality, the level of quality is designated by the number of X's.
Is it really?
Yeah. So it's only a 10X. I think you can.
I can't tell if you're messing with me right now, but all right.
No. See, if it were nicer, this would be real ostrich, and this buckle here wouldn't be plastic. It'd be some sort of actual rare earth metal.
And then they start running out of X's, or space for the X's.
Right. Then the X, like if the X's are going like all the way around the head, then that's when you know it's like quality.
Nice. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, this is a Formula One podcast. We are excited to talk about the Formula One Grand Prix today. Daniel, we didn't even think about this, but this officially begins the last quarter of the season. We are 3/4 of the way through we're now more than 3/4 of the way done.
Yes, indeed. And boy, what a season it's becoming here right at the end.
It's absolutely fantastic. I'm having a blast. And people say, we've talked about this before. People have asked me ever since I started getting into Formula One. And then when we started this podcast, people would be like, so what's your team? What's your driver? And I honestly don't really have one. I have some drivers I like more than others, but I don't really have quote unquote a team. And that really comes in handy when you get to this point in the season and you're just like praying for chaos, right? You don't really care who wins as long as everybody gets those points nice and even, and the last race matters on so many fronts. I'm already kind of mad that McLaren sewed up the Constructors Championship so quickly. I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more of a fight down to the wire, but hey, 5 more races to go. We just knocked off the 19th Grand Prix of the season in Austin. I did laugh. Speaking, one more comment about the location of this place. I don't know if you heard this. I think it was like during the sprint race or something like that. Something big happened. I think both of the McLarens, spoiler alert, got knocked out of the sprint race. And David Coulthard said, "Man, it feels like a Hollywood moment." I'm not going to do his Scottish accent because I can't. He said, "Oh, it feels like a Hollywood moment or something, and we're not too far away, from Hollywood here in Texas." I did a quick Google search. Off the top of your head, Daniel, you want to call out the mileage from Austin, Texas to Hollywood?
It's probably like north of 2,000 miles.
It's
No,
not quite 2,000, but it's
it's
just shy
north of
of
1,000.
1,400. It's
It's
just
north
shy
of
of
1,000.
1,400.
Just
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah. 1,300 something miles, which, by the way, is like 1.5 times the full length of the UK. So I was like, yeah, we're
I was
not that
about to
far from
say,
Hollywood.
what is the distance in miles across the entire state of Texas? Like, I think you're an entire state of Texas from Hollywood when you're in
Is
Austin.
Yeah, yeah. It's a nice long drive. Now in America, we would do that twice a year for vacation if we lived in Austin, probably. But that's
Yeah.
considered a long drive elsewhere. It was a sprint race weekend, so we had a sprint race, much reduced practice times. A pretty nice qualifying. A little bit of a slow race, I think, if we're honest with ourselves. A little quiet, not a ton to do in that race, but we still have a lot to cover. Daniel, where do you want to jump in?
I think the sprint race is a good one to talk about because I think it did sort of set up the rest of the weekend. Um, both McLarens did crash out and they did not the sprint race.
Yeah.
So neither got points. And guess who won the sprint race?
Guess who?
Guess who? Um, so yeah, there's that. I mean, the sprint race was otherwise sort of like uneventful. It was just kind of a race to the finish. Sainz placed relatively well, if I'm not mistaken here. Do you remember that stat? I feel like
I do remember that stat. Sainz got third.
on the
Si-
podium. On the
on the
podium.
podium.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Sainz finished third. I don't know if you heard like the entire crowd cheering. He had to stop his whole interview at the when they interviewed all three. By the way, I love that we're interviewing all three drivers side by side
I was wondering about
on the
that.
grid at the same
There's
time.
something there. I
Yeah.
think there's like a some sort of F1 FIA motive there, but I do like it. We can touch
Yeah.
on that later. It's in my notes.
Yeah. All three interviews, but when they got to Carlos, the crowd started cheering so loud. I think there were lots of smooth operation people trying to start smooth operators, which is a tough song, by the way, to get the whole crowd going on. Like it's one thing to be like "Sweet Caroline" and then the whole crowd ba ba. There's no easy way to jump in on smooth operator because all you can do is just say like smooth, and then nobody knows when you're switching.
Yeah.
So
But
there's a lot
you
of
just need someone to pull out a pitch pipe and be like,
yeah, smooth.
smooth operator.
There was a lot of false
But
starts, a lot of
the
like
thing about
smooth
that song is like
operators.
all you have to know is smooth operator and
Yeah,
the two little melodies of it. And
right.
you can just go like in a loop. You can just keep going and keep going and
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah. I will admit I don't know a lot more of that song, but yeah, Carlos Sainz, he very quickly has jumped into I think he's either 10th or 11th in the driver's standings right now. So Carlos Sainz woke up
Just
halfway
a
through the
legend.
season and has jumped up to 11th in the driver's standings with 38 points. He's 1 point behind Isaac Hadjar. So don't look now, rookie of the year, but Isaac Hadjar is about to get bumped off his top 10 list there pretty quick. Yeah. An interesting race. Right off the bat, the McLarens got knocked out. I will admit, that did feel like a movie moment when both of them got knocked out. Specifically, that it just fed right in that narrative of is Verstappen in this fight? Verstappen saying like, "No, I'm not." A few races ago or several races ago, and then that moment is the kind of thing in a movie montage that would happen that would explain why this character Verstappen has jumped to the top of of everybody's long odds bets. But yeah, Daniel, so much was made over McLaren's contact or Lando's friendly bump of Oscar Piastri at the Singapore Grand Prix. So much has been made about that. So much conversation for 2 weeks now, or whatever it's been. A week? Has it only been a week? No, it's been 2 weeks. A full 2 weeks
It's been 2. Yep.
since the McLarens bumped wheels. And so much talk was made about that. What was your take on the contact in the sprint race? I think it was Hulkenberg who came up, slammed into Piastri. Piastri tipped just about sideways and slammed into Lando. Full racing incident? Fingers to be pointed there?
I would say full racing incident. That turn is a very unusual turn. And for you to be starting off on the grid, you're not qualifying anymore, you're not in practice. You're starting off on a grid, 20 hungry drivers, they're all racing to the same spot, the same apex basically.
Right.
That apex, it's worse than a hairpin almost. I mean, it is like a kinked hairpin.
Yeah.
And it's up a hill. And as soon as you turn, you're going down a hill. And the thing about that is that like you're not all 3 of your tires are really making contact if you hit the right, whatever you want to call it, through that turn. Because I mean, you're not really hitting the apex. But if you get up into the apex, there's something about the topography there that your car loses contact with the ground at certain points. So it's not a great turn to be racing into in that kind of bunch.
Right.
And then that concertina effect will really get you, you know.
That's right. The concertina effect.
It's really bad when you're right off the starting line.
Accent.
Well, no, I think you nailed it. Honestly, I think you should stick with it.
This guys all agree.
So yeah, so I was more surprised in the Grand Prix that there wasn't any kind of contact or lockup or something that turned into like a pileup like that. But hey, it happened in the first race of the weekend.
Later on in the race. Yeah.
Right. So I'm not surprised that it happened. I would call it just a racing incident. I think both McLaren drivers thought of it as a racing incident pretty much right away as well. Like the radio messages, the attitude, it was pretty benign.
It just is what it is, yeah. And I think everybody was
I hate to be boring, but
no, I think that's right. I think everybody's been trying to hype up this McLaren thing because we've all been waiting for it to boil over all season. But we're trying too hard. The Singapore contact was not a whole lot more. It was effectively just Norris trying to not rear end Max and bumping into Piastri, but not a whole lot more there. It does seem like Piastri took it a little bit more seriously, but I think we're trying to make some mountains out of molehills with the McLaren contact. I feel like that McLaren rivalry is spicy enough as it is without trying to make it out they're trying to hit each other constantly. But that's my hot take on it. Yeah, sprint race was good. It honestly felt really, really short with some of the other contact and action there. And I think it was sprint race, not kind of late in that Stroll smashed into Ocon, knocked Ocon out. Which, by the way, I don't know. Did you see that Stroll was already like waving to Ocon as he went by?
Yeah, he was like,
"Sorry about that.
Sorry, bro." I think they're buddies. I think Stroll and Ocon are friends.
Are they?
I think it was like, yeah. And I mean, if you saw, I don't know if you saw how much of the replays you saw. I replayed the replays a good bit.
Oh, I have a replay for you to look at because I thought it was kind of funny looking. But yeah, go for it.
No, it was just like, whoa.
Right.
Whoa, that happened. It was a lockup. It wasn't. I don't want to say Stroll is super to blame here. He's responsible for his car locking up or his brakes locking up, sure. But man, that was some hard contact. So obviously he was like, I booped you. Whoopsie.
I booped you good. Yeah. Booper.
Whoopsie. That was a boopsie.
Yeah. Okay. So I got this recording. I'm going to play it for you here because I thought it was fantastic. This is Ocon's view. And I just thought that is such a perfect angle of who hit me? And then right in front of you, it's just Lance Stroll. Just like,
who was that?
Turns him around. Hey, and then he just awkwardly goes by. That every time somebody got hit in that corner, that's what happened. Was that car just came coasting by with like the sorry wave, and you're like, it's my bad. I went a little fast into that corner. Sorry about that. All right. Well, sprint race was good. Qualifying was a little bit slow and haphazard there. The only note that I had from qualifying was where the heck did Verstappen come at the end of Q3? Just everybody's sort of close, everybody fighting it out for like a tenth or like a few hundredths, and then all of a sudden he just drops like 4/10 on everybody in Q3. And I don't think anybody got. I think maybe Leclerc or Norris got. I guess Norris got within 2/10 of him by the end. Where did that come from? Like
I feel
just
like what we've
turned
got
on.
going on here is like a car that they're like, hey, we fixed the car. Okay. Okay. Would great. That's great news. What'd you do to fix it? We probably shouldn't tell you. Well, why not?
Okay,
Well, because, you know, you need plausible deniability.
right,
You need to be able to answer questions in front of
sure.
the FIA honestly and sincerely. And if we tell you what we did, then, you know, you're in on it, buddy.
Ooh, you're calling conspiracy.
So
Are they putting
you
water in
just
their
drive the
tires?
car. You just drive the car. Okay, Max?
Just drive the car.
Okay, whatever. I'll drive the car. Whoa, this car is like way faster. Like, yeah, we told you we fixed it.
Yeah,
Okay, now what we're gonna need you to do, Max, is like just don't run away with it. Okay, just like don't make it obvious that this
right.
car is like super fast now. Like,
Just be
okay,
cool.
yeah,
Complain a
you
lot
can
on
do
the
that, right,
radio.
Max? You can do that, right? Like you're the best driver ever, right? Yeah, of course. You could drive a fast car slow, right? Yeah, of course.
And
But to
that's a
me, that's
bit
almost like it's harder to it's harder to act like you're
right.
acting bad. Like if you're an actor and you're in a show about being an actor and you have to act poorly as that actor, I feel like that is harder to do than just to act. And I feel like that's the same thing
Wow.
as driving a fast car slow. Like if you're a race car driver, if you are in the pinnacle of motorsport and you've got a GP car under your seat,
It's
under your
hard to
butt,
make it look slow.
yeah, like what do you do to not be fast and it not be
Right.
obvious, right? So
Especially if you're
Max,
Max Verstappen. The only thing they have going for him is Max is a naturally critical human. So they could put him in a really fast car and he would still get on the radio and be like, it's sliding everywhere. This is a piece of garbage. Like as he's blowing 4/10 on everybody.
right? So yeah, I mean, to
Mm.
me, like this is not the first weekend that this has happened, but since that car got better, Max has just waited until the very end and been like, okay, what do I need to get to make sure that I get pole beyond a reasonable doubt? Okay, 4/10, got it. Here you go.
I think I can do that.
Here's 4/10 than the fastest. Boom.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. So you're calling conspiracy. Is it now? Is it a good conspiracy, or is it like someone accidentally selected like standard metric and or standard over metric in like a spreadsheet somewhere? It was like, oh shoot, and it soared again. And
Hey
yeah,
guys, the FIA's calipers aren't calibrated correctly. Don't ask me how I know this.
that
Like, oh, so we could make the wing flex an extra 5 millimeters? Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, okay.
I can't. You can't disagree with that too much, just given that Yuki Tsunoda has looked reasonable in the last like 3 races, in the sense that he scored 2 out of 3 of the last races, and today he did fairly well. So I I can't argue with that too much. I do think. I mean, that's a hot take there, Daniel. That they figured it out that much.
Yeah,
But
sorry for it to be
this
too
goes.
spicy. Before this
Yeah.
episode, I went down a bit of a wormhole on like some probabilities and some, I'm leveraging a large language model here, what you
Okay.
might call artificial intelligence to do a
Talk
little
about
bit
some
of
AI.
the
We
kind of
got
math
AI working
that I
for you.
don't
It's
really
going to take
do very
everybody's
quickly.
job.
AI. Yeah.
You just gonna,
Uh,
I'm gonna,
what is that, Spanish?
are
Hey,
you?
yeah. Hey, yeah. Yeah, that's what they say down there. Hey, yeah. Hey,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Vamos. Is there?
Vamos.
Is there? Well, but this goes back to what we said at the beginning of the season with Verstappen very early on, just claiming that this was a terrible car, and meanwhile he's held his entire team in 4th place and now a pretty close 3rd. With a terrible car, and a handful of drivers.
Well, look, I know we haven't even gotten into the results of the race, so maybe it's
Yeah,
the best time to jump in on this little
is it
topic.
time?
But what I've been thinking about all weekend, especially given the DNF of both McLaren cars in the sprint race, is okay, now there's a real chance, not just a mathematical possibility, but a
Right.
real probability that Max is racy and competitive at the end of the season and is right up there at the top of the points.
Sure.
However, he still has a pretty big hill to climb, a bigger hill to climb, in fact, than Lando has on Piastri. And Piastri isn't not scoring points on the Grand Prix in the Grand Prix. He's not falling off in terms of form. Neither of them really are. Yes, this was not
Right.
Oscar's best weekend, but I would also argue that Oscar's car probably suffered a few things that couldn't just be corrected overnight to where you have the perfect car to race the next day. Same thing might even go for Lando, even though he did all right. I was expecting Lando to, especially when the softs were on the
Yeah.
papaya car this time instead of the Ferrari.
I think we can just say orange.
Yeah, orange.
I think it's time.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There's just a lot of, Texas is known for some oranges and like actual oranges and the color orange, like the University of
Yep.
Texas and
It's
their
just
orange.
time.
Anyway, so my thing is like, okay, I don't want to really blame Oscar for this poor finish. Anyway, to my point, there is a chance. It's not probable, but it is possible that these three drivers could possibly end the season tied in points.
What
And-
happens then?
Well, I haven't quite gone down that little, left door in the hallway of this rabbit hole to find the end of that rabbit hole.
It's in some FIA guidelines somewhere, I'm sure.
But there are tiebreaker provisions in the FIA guidelines, and I
I
don't
hope
think
it's a race with just the three of them. That's
I would
what I
love
hope.
that. I would love that. I would love that. Or like a sort of attorney kind of thing where it's like head to head, and then two out of three, and they have to all race
Yeah.
each other. So anyway. But I still think what it is, what the AI model told me was it's a 1 in 10,000 chance. It's less than a 1 in 10,000 chance.
It's unlikely.
And they all would the most likely points finished to where they were tied would be 439 points each. But honestly, look at this. Not look, listen. This is what has to happen. Brazil sprint. First place Norris, second place Verstappen, third place Piastri. COTA sprint. First Verstappen, second Norris, third Piastri. Mexico. Actually, I don't know why this is in this order.
I was surprised we went to COTA sprint.
Yeah, AI, whatever.
AI doesn't
Mexico.
Really
Verstappen first, Norris second, Piastri third.
Yep.
Brazil Grand Prix, not sprint. Verstappen, Piastri, Norris. Vegas, Verstappen, Norris, Piastri. Qatar, Verstappen, Piastri, Norris. Abu Dhabi, Norris, Verstappen,
Oh, you said
Piastri.
Qatar. Sorry. Yeah. You mean Qatar.
Oh, what did I say? Qatar?
Is that how you pronounce it?
We can say
Okay.
guitar.
That's okay.
You mean guitar?
You talking about Qatar?
Qatar.
Qatar.
We like them boys over there. They got some petroleum. Yeah.
Yeah.
We like. I mean, it ain't
And
nothing
all
like
those
the,
combined,
like the
which,
basin.
by the way, are basically the finishing order of
Yeah,
flip the coin.
is
any
it
given
wild
race.
to think that McLaren and Verstappen could be on the podium for the rest of the season?
No, not wild. Although Mercedes and Ferrari seem to have something to say about it. They're both jockeying for that.
Certainly. But again,
no, that would be
put
be
these-
an exciting finish.
put these three drivers down the order next to each other in earning similar points, and I don't think this is the only arrangement in which they could all arrive at
Sure,
439 points and be tied. Now, 1 in 10,000 is not like if you said there was a 1 in 10,000 chance of.
Well, no, there's 5 races left, yeah, and
Mhm.
Verstappen is 40 points behind, so he needs 8 points a race. That's a little bit more than first over second. So he needs to be, he needs Piastri down in third a couple more times, and it's not that far. It's not that crazy to think that would happen. Or McLarens have touched twice in 3 races, 2 races. 3 races? I mean, I know one of them wasn't fair, but hey, Verstappen still got a first place finish in a sprint because Hülkenberg bumped into Piastri. So crazier things have happened. I'm all for it. I mean, like I said, I would love for this to be a really close race all the way to the end. In general, one of my big takeaways this weekend was this is fantastic. Verstappen has a big chance of getting in here for the mix and potentially having a big win, which would be a storyline nobody really saw coming halfway through the season. There's an
Agreed.
incredible hot constructors battle for second and for sixth. Right now, there are 3 teams that both are fighting for second place and 3 teams fighting for sixth place. They're really the only teams that have locked in their spot are McLaren and Williams, effectively. And it's still possible that Williams gets caught, by the way, but with Carlos Sainz showing a little bit more form recently, they've put a good 30, almost 40-point gap between them and Racing Bulls. But besides that, Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull right now are 341, 334, and 331. So they are, they're 10 points away. Those entire all three teams. And sorry, I mispronounced Team Verstappen again. I called it Red Bull.
That's why I was laughing, is I'm thinking like you're Toto Wolff at the end of the season, and you got Mercedes loses out to Red Bull for second place in constructors. What's going through your mind is Max Verstappen single-handedly beat my team in the constructors.
Like my whole team. Yeah. And we sent our other really good driver called Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari, and they got beat by Verstappen. Yeah. Verstappen is definitely having a season. That's really exciting. I just my big takeaway is it's on like Donkey Kong. It's going to be a fantastic end of the season if we can keep things going this way, which I don't know why they wouldn't. I still can't tell which is the better team, Mercedes or Ferrari. It just seems like it depends on the week, like which one shows up and has a great weekend. But it seems like Mercedes is more consistent, but then you'll just get a flash of greatness from Leclerc, or Mercedes will just have a terrible weekend where neither of them is in the top 10. But anyway, it's exciting. The race was good. Let's get into the race. We haven't officially jumped to the race, so maybe we'll go ahead and do that. If you haven't already figured it out from everything we've been saying and you haven't already seen it, then as always, spoiler alert, you should probably just go watch the race. Verstappen pulls out his, is it his fourth win? Fourth win of the season.
I think it's fourth.
First place finish of the season. Lando Norris scrapes out a second place after passing Leclerc twice on track. And Charles Leclerc rounds out the podium in third place. Ferrari on the podium. Lewis Hamilton, by the way, misses out on that podium by one spot. He was in fourth. And it looked like there for a moment that he had a real possibility of having his first Ferrari podium.
Yeah, he and Leclerc were battling it out for a minute. But Leclerc, great form this weekend too. Really good form.
Leclerc, I think Leclerc got voted driver of the day. I got to go back and look at that. Sometimes I don't really pay attention to the driver of the day thing, but Leclerc had a great drive, held Norris off forever. Oscar Piastri had a really quiet day down in fifth. It just seemed like he didn't have much movement, didn't have much he could do. And that was your top five. Rounding out the top 10, George Russell in sixth, Yuki Tsunoda with a strong seventh place finish, Nico Hülkenberg in eighth, Oliver Behrman in ninth, and Fernando Alonso in 10th place with a solitary point. So nice race overall. If anything, I would say that Oscar Piastri was probably the surprise of the weekend. Just kind of quiet. Never really seemed to get to good grips with that car. Never really seemed like he was in contention or was really going to make a fight for it. I won't say Lando Norris looked like he was in his top form, but he at least looked like he was in fighting form. Piastri just seems like Piastri's just kind of wilted. I don't know how to describe it. In the past few weeks, he's just kind of gone quiet.
It makes me wonder if there's just this part of the season fatigue, jet lag, what have you. You just never know what's going on outside of the weekend or behind the scenes, in my mind. And it's not an easy track to drive. I even if you think I don't know if you listened in on the cool down room comments, but Lando was basically like, it'd be a really fun track if it was less difficult. If it was, I don't know how hot it was today. I wasn't really paying attention. I was loving the great weather we're having here in the States. So I was assuming Austin was in similar form climate wise, but I just think it's a really tough, demanding track where you're lots of different configurations, a couple straightaways, but those S turns, cool to watch, but it's probably pretty taxing on the driver.
I mean, it's bad when they start hitting those S curves and you're watching. And for a moment, I thought this looks almost like a video game or something unreal. Like the speed that they're going through these turns, and it's relatively flat, right? They don't have a lot of banking that's allowing them to hold to the ground. And you just think you're probably getting slingshot around in there. Hot race, they kind of called it out for, I don't think it was air conditioning hot in the car or air conditioning vests or solutions or whatever they call them, but it was hot. hot enough that maybe it melted Lando Norris's grip off his steering wheel. I don't know if you heard that radio message. I think it was
Was
during
that sprint
qualifying.
race or that was
I guess
qualifying?
qualies, yeah.
Yeah.
Like race qualifying, but yeah, kind of hot. I mean, I'll give you that. It seems like these drivers are human. They're going to have a day that they're not all of them. Verstappen, would debate. Jury's still out on whether Verstappen is fully human or not. But aside from Verstappen, who just goes out there in the wind and heat and decides to just drop 4/10 on everybody. Yeah, it's kind of a tough race. And man, that hill, when you sometimes it doesn't look that bad, and then they'll show a different angle, and you realize that hill is like multiple stories high,
In fact,
straight
it
up
is.
from the start. It was an exciting start. I was to be honest, right now, the way things are going, it's kind of annoying to me whenever another car gets between Norris and Verstappen. And it seems to happen like every week where it's supposed to be like this really great first start. And then all of a sudden there's chaos and there's somebody between them. You're like, just move. I want to see the two of them go wheel to wheel for 20 laps.
Yeah. I'm done with the previews. Is the movie going to start? What's going on?
Yeah, let's go. Somebody bring out strategy C. Not a whole lot. I actually was trying to stay awake around lap 18. Speaking of depending on jet lag and stuff, but lap 18.
Well, it was just it's kind of the same thing over and over and over. And Lando was racy in one part of the track, not really in another part of the track. And to me, I was like, will somebody please just do a pit stop or something?
Right.
But finally, I think lap 21 is when Lando finally started to get some moves done on Leclerc. So
finally got the pass done on 21.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden Hamilton was right on the back of Leclerc, and all the announcers even were like, is Ferrari going to have some team orders? Seems like the right thing to do. It's like, don't do that. Just leave them alone.
Yeah, please.
Just let them race. I thought it was a little bit of a slow start. There was a ton of action. It just seemed like not enough action where anybody passed anybody. So it was a long beginning of the race. And then it felt like we did it all over again later in the race after all the pit stops. Somehow it was Norris behind Leclerc again, trying to get the pass done. But
yeah.
Did you hear, by the way, speaking of team orders, did you hear like the really snarky conversation with the announcers? It was like lap 50. It was really close to the end of the race. They called Colapinto and asked him to change places with Gasly. And he was, or like just hold position. And he was like, why? He's so slow. Yeah. And then he just passed him anyway.
And then he overtook him. Was it turn 1 or turn 12 where he got him?
I can't remember.
It was one of those tight back.
I just thought it was hilarious that the announcers were like, it's really important for team orders here when they're fighting for 17th and 18th. Like, that's hard.
Right. Well, and I think the point there was like, well, Colapinto probably is more concerned with keeping his seat in Formula One going forward and showing that he can obey team orders. And then after that comment, it was just, nope, I don't care. I'm taking it.
I'm just taking it. Yeah. I did think, ultimately, I think Bortoleto ended up passing Gasly. So it did kind of leave Gasly open to attack. But I think when they made that radio message, at least when they showed it, Colapinto had Bortoleto right behind him. So I was like, you can't, like, hey, just hold here for a second. Like, I'm going to get passed. Pass or get passed. Hey, it was a good race overall. I felt like kind of quiet, but always fun to watch. It is a quick track. If nothing else, if you're getting bored, they go through those S turns again, and it's a nice quick race. Had some odd moments with Antonelli kind of spinning around a little bit, but not a lot there.
Yeah, question there. Quick reaction for you. Who's to blame? Who's to blame in this little Antonelli Sainz bumpity bump?
Sainz.
You think so? Just that quick, huh? You're just gonna hate on Carlos like that, huh?
No, I don't hate on Carlos. I love Carlos.
I love Carlos.
Today, I think today, maybe for the last couple races, Carlos has gotten his mojo back. He's kind of gotten his like, get out of my way, I want to drive fast back, which is great to see. And he knows what he's doing. But I think he and we would agree he was a little aggressive today. Came out a little hot.
He was he was a lot. Well, think about last year. It was a 1-2 finish for Ferrari last year. Leclerc first, Sainz second. I feel like Sainz comes into this circuit at this track at this whole weekend and is just feeling these vibes of like, yeah, this feels this could be something, So and the sprint race was even there to kind of confirm it, since he was on the podium again. But then in the GP and after not the best qualifying, it's like, so I don't know. The one argument I would put in his favor is that he was alongside the mirror of Antonelli. And
Sure.
Antonelli, I think he should have anticipated Antonelli taking that line. And I think he just simply was rolling the dice, hoping that he would open the wheel up a little bit more and not come through that corner like that.
But he knew that wasn't going to happen. I mean, that was kind of thing. He'd already pulled off a pass. Who did he pass early on? I'm trying to remember. He did the exact same move on someone early on and got it done, but it was
Yeah.
pretty pushy.
Yeah.
And then it came back to bite him eventually because not every driver's going
And
to jump
I
out
think
your way.
I think if you gave Carlos that same quick reaction question, he would
Yeah.
take the blame because
He'd take the blame.
he called into he called over the radio and was like, "Sorry."
Yeah, I love how it doesn't matter how much as a viewer you tell football fans,
Football.
you tell those defensive backs, don't put your hands up when you had pass interference, right? Like, don't do it. Like, if you grab the wide receiver and they fall down, just start cheering. Don't throw your hands up. Like, how did I do it? Because you look so guilty. And
You're looking like a chimney after a house fire. Like, wonder who's responsible here.
it doesn't matter how many times you shout at the screen, they're going to throw their hands up. And it feels the same with these drivers. Like, hey, even if you just slam into somebody, don't get on the radio and be like, sorry, guys. Get on the radio and be like, what was that? Why did that
He
car?
totally pushed me off.
The car got right in front of me. You cannot apologize on the radio. Yeah, I think Sainz was a little hot this week. I mean, I don't mind it just because he's in a Williams. You got to get kind of scrappy, and it's kind of worked out for him for a sprint race and a race and some other weekends here. So I can't really blame the guy, but maybe cool it a little bit, But hey, Williams is in a solid fifth place right now, and it doesn't look like anybody's really approaching them.
And good for them. Let's get that prize money. Let's put some development into that car. Let's get on more podiums next year.
Heck yes.
Williams.
Hey, Daniel, I've got a quick reaction to that effect, but anything else on the race before I give you a quick reaction?
Nah. Let's hit the quick reactions.
Okay, this is the most important quick reaction I think we all want to know. Best U.S. Grand Prix livery. We had Haas with the stars.
Yeah.
We had Aston Martin with the some yellow and some hidden math. We had Alpine
hidden
with
math.
not so hidden yellow on the Alpine. We had McLaren with some white and some silver. And then we had Williams with the blue and white. And then we had Barb, the V-carbs with their
what was that? I don't even know what to call it.
Like some orange
camo? Was it camo?
Yeah, it's like orange chaps.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, so I'm assuming Barb's out of the race here. Did Williams have the best livery?
So I thought it was really cool to see that blue and white on the Williams. To me, that's a pretty serious livery that I think could go all year. Honestly, like it's just got strong, like back in the day when we were good vibes.
Yep.
I liked the white on the McLaren as well. Same reason, just same like nice balance. I'm getting tired of the papaya, I think. Especially when it's papaya and what else do you have to look at? Oh, it's the Google rainbow. It's the Google primary colors combination of 4.
Yeah.
Like, okay, enough. Now, yeah, Barb, don't even, let's not later on even into this conversation because they're on the complete opposite end of the spectrum.
You don't want to know what we thought about it, Barb.
Right. So yeah, Williams and McLaren, cool. And it's funny because they both had a lot of success during the same stint. It was just either them or the other, right? One or the other, either Williams or McLaren for, I don't know, 12 years or something like that.
Right.
So it was cool to see them both. And I don't think there's no historical purpose or whatever, but that to me, that just kind of gave me those back in the day vibes.
Yeah.
So that's,
and that's number one is Williams for you.
Yeah, I think Williams is number one for me of the special livery, but close second, McLaren.
Okay, you're going McLaren for close second.
Yeah. Now, I am curious though because I want to hold that spot potentially for an Aston if there's something interesting with this hidden math because I didn't realize there was hidden math on that car.
It's not that hidden. It's sort of like if you took the Aston Martin Formula One car and you made it the size of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. A high schooler sort of wrote down some math on the margins, like a few formulas, like literally just formulas on the side of the car, like on the side pod, and then some on the front wing, which I think is just like, I love how
All right,
they told
I gotta
them,
Google this.
you got to Google it. We're going to Texas. We're going to Texas, and we're gonna be out there. So like denim. Remember last year, Alpine, you guys looked like McLarens. Like it's really cool stuff, right? And then everybody started calling it like, we're gonna do, Barb is like, we're gonna do the orange, orange camo. And they get to Aston Martin, like Aston Martin, and they're like, we have Adrian Newey. I mean, we have Adrian Newey. No, I mean, we're gonna have Adrian Newey next year. We have math. Like, wait, what? Like, why do you have math? You're like, I just thought it'd be cool. I don't know. It seems a lot of place.
I
Seems
feel
like
like
they would
I
have
feel
been-
like it was like, all right, Aston, what do you guys have? And the people in the meeting were like, oh, we didn't. We're
still
not supposed to
drawing.
be here. What is this? Formula? And you want us? Well, why don't we just put a formula
It's
on
a
the side of the
Formula
car?
Yeah.
Right. This is a Formula
Yeah.
One
Aston
race.
Martin, you're up next. Tell us what you're doing for building a Formula car. Yep, they scrawled it on the side of the side pods. Ironically, if you take a big step back where you can't see the math, I thought they had the second best livery. I just like
Okay, I will
the yellow
say,
highlights were sharp. Like it was
yeah,
a slick
I will
looking
say
car.
the color does pop, and I do like the combination. I mean, there's something about the British racing green that just
Yeah.
it's the backdrop to all my motorsport dreams. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
that is what it is. I love that color. It's a cool color. And so good on you, Aston, for leaning into that, because that is
Way to lean in.
right.
Yep.
And the
Yep,
yellow does pop. The yellow, that industrial highlighter yellow, whatever color, whatever that color's called, it does pop with that green. So and honestly, I feel
That's
like
why we highlight things on our math sheets with highlighters.
there you go. Yeah, especially when there's a formula that I don't know how to solve.
There you go.
So
Williams is top. You got McLaren. McLaren, I'll be honest, I'm kind of over the orange and black. I need them to get some cohesion there. But I did like the Aston Martins. I think Alpine needs to drop that yellow. They've joined in what I like to call the Hewlett Packard Ferrari camp.
Right, total
adding
sellout. Yeah,
color
just
to their car.
yellow and pink and blue. I'm sorry. Okay,
No.
that's no.
Yeah.
Although
And
when I see that,
yeah.
when I see that, I think of the Franco Colapinto Mercado Libre, which is basically the Amazon of South America.
Okay.
I see that commercial that he was in, and I remember being excited about him being officially on the grid because I like Franco Colapinto. I think he's a good driver. A little maybe, whatever you call his attitude today. Too much bravado, maybe.
Formula One
But,
drivery.
yeah, extra. But like if he's from like a South American country with a lot of pride, a lot of national pride.
Yeah.
So yeah, so when I see that, I'm like, oh, cool. That's maybe either a reason that he got the seat because he had that sponsor that he brought to the table, or something that's making his career in Formula One a little stickier because of that relationship, or whether it's chicken or egg here. So when I see that, I'm like, yay, Franco. And then I think about like Gasly, and I'm like, is Gasly getting paid for having that on his car? Is he in any of the Mercado Libre commercials?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, he's being paid by Alpine to drive the car, so why should we pay you more to do your job?
Just do your job. Just do your job, Gasly, and hold position until the. All
right.
So we're going to hold position starting now.
Hold position right now. 17th and 18th is important to us. Forget about that Bortoletto chasing you down. I have another style quick reaction for you.
Yeah.
Daniel. And I think I sent you a link for this one. If you didn't already see it, my guess would be you already have.
No, I totally Scout's honor, not a Scout.
Oh, well,
Cowboys honor today.
You've already seen what's at the end of the link, which is, did COTA have the best trophy design of the year? I don't know if you've seen this. It had proper horns on it. I did think it was ironic that it went to a Red Bull driver, and it's very Bull-like. So
it's a sign. I think it's a sign that a Red Bull driver, the Red Bull driver wins 2 races in the same weekend at the same track that are probably going to solidify his ability to potentially get the driver's championship a 5th year in a row.
Yeah.
To me, it's the sign. To me, that is the star. The bulls are aligned. The horns are aligning.
The horns are aligning. Both trophies you got. Did you look closely at that trophy? Did you see the COTA track embedded in it? So,
No, I didn't look past the
okay.
horns.
You gotta
So
dig into those
you
details.
and your eye for detail, Ruben. I tell you,
So, well, I thought it looked kind of funky, and my first thought was, why did you put a skull on this bull? Like that's a weird thing to give a trophy that looks like a bull's skull. And then I realized it's just a sandwiched, like it's just a what do you call it, like a butterfly image of the COTA track. And then that's when I started clapping. Yeah,
that is cool.
it's pretty sick,
That
right?
is cool.
Uh,
I mean, I think they could have left
good
the
stuff.
horns off, and it'd be a really cool trophy.
I agree. I just like how somebody was like, it does look kind of like like a bull's head if you put it together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you know what? You know what I think that appeals to me, Daniel, is how many times we've nicknamed tracks this year because of the shape that they have. And the
Mm-hmm.
best one I had for COTA was that it looks kind of like a magnifying glass, like that, or not a magnifying glass, a microscope. It looks like a microscope you'd have like on a
Oh,
tabletop,
it's 100% is a microscope. Yeah.
and that's way lamer than half
I
a
mean,
bull's
it even
skull.
has like the little tray, and then like
Yeah,
where the lens
yep,
gets right down on the tray.
literally everything. But that's a lot lamer than this cool bull trophy.
Well, I
So.
mean, who's going to look at this track and be like, that looks like one half of a cow skull?
Yeah, right, right. So it's a toss up between this and the light up one that wasn't Singapore. Light up one we had a couple weeks ago, and then the Lego Trophy. I think top three.
Did Baku light up? No.
You're gonna call me out here, and I can't remember. But it was a couple races ago.
Yeah.
I'll find it. You got any more quick reactions? Quick reactions for me today?
I'm a lot of quick reactions. Did you see, however, I mean, I'm just
Hmm.
curious, you saw the detail on this trophy. And by the way, the first thing that came to mind on this trophy was like, if this had been several years ago when Danny Ricciardo was actually competitive and on the podium a lot, like
Oh
this
yeah.
trophy might have ended up mounted on the front of one of his pickup trucks.
Oh yeah. It might still. Like he's gonna call Max and be like, Max, buddy, you got so many trophies. Let me have one.
Right. I've got a great idea for this one.
I don't know if I give that one up. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of like horse and cow artwork in my home, but if I was a driver and I went all the way to Austin for a trophy, that's a pretty slick trophy to get. All right, then I have one last quick reaction for you as we wrap up. Do you already have Apple TV, or are you going to be buying Apple TV so that you can continue watching Formula One in America next year?
I already have Apple TV, and to be honest, it's a pretty well designed platform. What I'm
Okay.
hoping Apple TV does now that they're in the Liberty Media family is that they add MotoGP to their streaming service, because then it's a one stop shop
There we
for
go.
two really good series in motorsport.
Okay. See, I'm gonna admit I don't have Apple TV. I've had like temporary subscriptions from time to time to watch Ted Lasso, but I don't actually have Apple TV right now. And at first I was like, why are you doing this? And I thought I'm gonna pay like 10 more bucks a year and get an entire platform instead of just F1. So I'll take it.
Also, it makes me wonder what we haven't heard much on the Disney Formula One mashup. And, Disney is in the ESPN, or ESPN is in
Yeah.
the Disney camp.
Yeah. I really thought they were gonna put it on Disney Plus.
Well, right, exactly. So to me, this is a different kind of move where you're like, all right, what's going to happen with the Disney thing now? Because they were going hard on the Mickey Mouse vibes too, and I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
listen, I took one for the team. Okay, and I went to Disney World. I did recently.
Yeah, and we appreciate that.
And I scoured
the team is forever in your debt.
Thank you. It was difficult. I scoured the entire place for signs of
You
Formula
looked in
One
all
and
four
didn't-
parks?
I went in all four parks, every single one.
Wow.
That's
nothing.
my dedication to this podcast.
Not a single clue.
Not a single clue. I actually went to they have a like a ride there called Test Track that's at Epcot, which is, you got the whole world around the big pond or whatever. If you're going to have a Formula One event or space anywhere, it's going to be at Test Track where you can go around the world, right? Nothing. They even had like they had Cadillacs on display because it was like sponsored by, GMC or GM or whoever. Nothing. Not a single F1 bit of merchandise. So
Disappointing.
there you go. And on that,
Highly.
on that terrible bombshell, it's coming. I'm sure it's coming. It's going to be exciting. But yeah, probably time to wrap up. Hope you enjoyed the Grand Prix. I hope you enjoyed it because we're racing there for 10 more years. Excited. This just in. COTA just got an extension on its contract.
You're going to like it. You're going to watch it and you're going to like it. Okay.
You're going to like it. Yeah. I like how we also finally got an announcement that like Russell is sticking around at Mercedes for another year. Like he and Antonelli both. And it's like with like a lot of more money. And you know that Toto was like, Russell, please, like you'll have to sign this because we have to beat COTA. Yeah. Like 1 year, please, before COTA announces 10 more years. All right. Well, on that note, thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. We are sad that the season is already almost over, but loving every minute of it. Thanks, as always, to our...
We're going to be watching all the way to the end. This is not... No one's locking this up easily.
No one's turning the TV off.
Thank you, Max Verstappen, for bringing it all the way back from a 104-point deficit.
Thank you, Max. We should have a section called "Thank You, Max" at the end of every episode.
We absolutely should. Thank you, Max.
Every time I watch these, every week now, I just have that Max Verstappen in the back of my mind. Hey, it's Mexico next, so we will we'll see you for the recap of the Mexico Grand Prix. In the meantime, stay safe, drive slower than F1 drivers. Thanks, as always, to our legendary pit wall producer, Chris P.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time on the Critical Lap.
Later.